The silver locket was still on my coffee table. I had bought it for Mark, for our 3rd anniversary. I had planned many, many years with him. It was a very strange feeling to see the gift there, knowing the future we wanted was now gone. We had 3 good years. We laughed a lot. We spent quiet, comfortable Sundays together. I truly thought we were the perfect couple. I felt completely safe and secure in our life. I never thought that feeling could just vanish. I found out about his cheating, but it was not a sudden shock. It was a cold, slow discovery. Mark was taking a shower. His phone lit up. A message came from a name I did not know, Chloe. The words were too private and too loving. They contained the kind of promises that he should have only made to me. I did not cry right away. Instead, a terrible, empty silence filled our apartment. I felt completely numb. It was as if my mind and body stopped to protect me from the huge pain. When he came out, I simply held out the phone. I did not need to speak a single word. His eyes immediately showed guilt and fear. His apologies came quickly, but they were weak. He called the affair a silly mistake and a moment of confusion. But his excuses were poor. For me, it was not a mistake, it was a clear choice that had destroyed everything we had built. He left that night. He packed some clothes and a few boxes of his things. He did not argue much. Perhaps he felt too ashamed. He left his sadness in the apartment, and I was left with a heavy, difficult grief. The next few weeks were a dark blur. I lived on simple takeout food. I wore the same old clothes. I could not sleep for long. Our home felt like a sad museum for the love that was lost. I was trapped in a mix of burning anger and endless sadness. I felt like I had no energy to even get out of bed. I continued to sink deeper into the pain. I stopped answering calls from my friends. I used a fake illness to take a week off from my job. I just stared at the wall. My pain was a heavy blanket that kept me down. I felt huge self-pity. I would cry until I was completely tired and drained. About 2 months after he left, my best friend, Sarah, came. She used the spare key. She did not criticize me or say bad things about Mark. She just listened. She opened the curtains and forced me to eat some real food. "You have the right to be sad, Alara," she said, firmly, as she threw away the empty food containers. "But you do not have the right to disappear. He took the relationship, but he did not take you." She helped me start moving. She told me to find new activities, things that Mark never liked. Mark always hated exercise. So, I decided to join a beginner's yoga class. The first few classes were very difficult. I was clumsy and stiff. My mind kept repeating the sad memories. But for 1 full hour, I had to focus on my balance and my breathing. This forced focus was a good escape from my thoughts. When the class ended, my muscles ached, but the heavy sadness in my heart was a little bit lighter. This was my first small victory. I also joined an evening creative writing course. I had always loved reading. Now, I decided to try writing my own stories. Putting my feelings into words on the page was deeply helpful. It was a way to sort out the confusion and the deep sadness in my mind. My first stories were very sad and dark, but slowly, a bit of hope started to appear in the new endings I wrote. I started feeling a little bit of control over my own story again. The hardest challenge was to stop being Mark's ex-girlfriend and become simply Alara. I realized I had defined myself only by the relationship. Now, I felt lost and incomplete. I decided to actively rebuild who I was. This process of healing took many months. I made a list of new experiences for myself. The list included hiking to the top of the nearby mountain. Mark always said he was too busy. A solo weekend trip to a new coastal town. I had always been afraid to travel alone. Learning a new skill, like photography. The hike was hard. I was out of breath, and my legs burned. But standing at the very top, looking down at the whole city, I felt incredibly powerful and happy. The world was huge, and my past problems suddenly felt small. The solo trip was a major turning point. I traveled alone. I ate dinner alone. I spent hours taking pictures of the sea. These times alone were not lonely, they were peaceful. I learned that I did not need a partner to enjoy a beautiful sunset. I was perfectly fine by myself. This understanding made me feel very strong and independent. My happiness did not depend on Mark or anyone else. I also spent time working on letting go of the anger. I talked to a therapist. She compared anger to holding a burning coal in my hand. It only burned me. I learned mindfulness and focused on being thankful for the small things: Sarah's help, my new writing class, the sun. My therapist taught me, you must forgive, not for him, but for your own freedom and peace. It took many months of effort, but I started to let the anger go. It was about 1 year after the breakup when I faced an unexpected test of my new strength. I was walking out of my writing class one evening when I saw Mark. He was standing on the corner of the street. He looked surprised to see me. He was with Chloe. For a moment, all the old pain and anger rushed back. My heart beat fast. I felt a quick moment of old sadness. They walked towards me, and Mark looked uncomfortable.
Alara,
He said, sounding awkward. Hello, this is Chloe. Chloe looked nervous. I took a deep breath. The old Alara would have cried, yelled, or run away. But the new Alara, the one who climbed mountains and traveled alone, was calm. I looked at Mark. I felt no love, and I felt no anger. He was simply a person I used to know. I looked at Chloe. I felt no hatred, only a quiet indifference. Hello, I said, with a very calm voice. I smiled politely. It's nice to meet you, Chloe. I hope you are well, Mark. I did not stop. I did not ask questions. I did not mention the cheating. I just kept walking past them. As I walked away, I felt an amazing sense of victory. Their past had no power over my future. I realized I had truly healed. The meeting did not hurt me. It simply confirmed how much I had grown. It has been over 1.5 years since the breakup. My life has completely changed, and it is better than I ever expected. The part-time writing job is now a full-time job at the online magazine. I love my work. It gives me great joy and satisfaction. I am confident in my own skills. My apartment is bright and full of life. I cook often and invite friends over. I am completely independent and strong. My heart is whole and much wiser. I was not looking for a new relationship at all. But life brought me Daniel through the book club. He is kind, smart, and completely reliable. When I think about him, I feel no fear or worry. He is not a replacement for Mark. He is a wonderful addition to a life that is already happy and full. A few nights ago, Daniel and I were walking home from a movie. He held my hand. I felt a warm, quiet, hopeful feeling. It was not the dramatic, difficult love I had before. It was a steady and real kind of love. I looked up at the quiet, clear sky. The pain from the end of my 3-year relationship is now only a memory. It does not control me anymore. The difficult time was the hardest test of my life, but it forced me to find my own inner strength. My heart was broken, but it is now stronger and better. The scars on my heart are not signs of damage, they are proof of how much I have survived and how much I have learned. I am Alara, and I am complete. The story that ended badly has been rewoven, and the new thread of my life is stronger and much brighter than before. The betrayal broke me, but it truly made me stronger.